Bob, as always, all you.
Hey, AG for Beauty. Uh, hey Dave, how you doing?
Good.
Um, hey, probably a thing everybody wants to know, I'm guessing, is what's the rotation plan for this weekend?
After yesterday's workout, we're going to stick with the same rotation
And why'd you decide to do that?
because they both feel good, healthy. No one has a sore arm, no complaints, ready to go.
And Molina's had he was, I guess, the guy we wondered about. Maybe he's had his last two starts has been his shortest. What are you seeing from him? How do you expect him to bounce back?
Yeah, hopefully he does, has a better outing than he has the last couple. Um, but I don't know. He's just got to go out and pitch. I mean, he's an older guy. He's got a lot of weekend experience at this level, and hopefully he'll go out and have a good outing for us. I expect him just to be a lot better.
And you said the other day that you thought, not having midweek games would be helpful and the guys could get refreshed a little bit. Well, what did you see from them yesterday in terms of that, maybe having a couple days off and how they responded to that?
It was good. It was good. You could tell they were excited to be back out on the field. We're out there, hour and a half, 2 hours, and it seemed a little different, a little louder, and I expect today's workout will be the same, and guys getting ready to play their last, home SEC series here at Baum-Walker, so it'll be good.
Yeah, I might have a couple more. I'll turn back to Oliver. Thanks.
Ellis.
Yeah, Coach, Mississippi State, obviously Durangelo gets a lot of the headlines with their starting rotation, but their other guy, Steven, is leading the SEC in innings, and I think Durangelo's top five in the SEC. Just what's the key to attacking those guys and getting them out of the game?
Well, they're both really hard throwers. You just got to stay in the zone. They're awfully good. I mean, that's as good as 1-2 punch in the league, the way I look at it, at least statistically. Stephen, he's been getting after it on Fridays, and Sanjo's been doing great on Saturdays, real well. So, yeah, we've got our hands full. We know it.
And obviously, Gage Wood's been throwing really well this weekend. Obviously, not going to start this weekend, but what do you see his role being like? Do you think you might get creative with how you use him, maybe long relief, or do you see him potentially closing some games again, or just how do you see his role down the stretch?
Well, we'll kind of let the game tell us what to do for the most part, but he could either be early out of the pen if it doesn't go well, or he can finish a game for us as well. So it's he's throwing the ball as good as anybody, and deserves to be out there. So we'll just kind of see how it's going. What's the score? What's the inning? Are we up? Are we down? And we want to, where we're at. I mean, we know what he can do, but we'll see how we're playing and the feel of the game before we make a decision whether we're going to get him going or not.
Alyssa.
Hey Dave, I'm curious, do you have conversations with Kendall, being an older guy, about just, reminding him, take a deep breath, relax? Like what are those conversations, if you have any, for a guy right now as you want to get him going when the postseason starts?
Yeah, we've talked with Kendall a lot. The biggest issue is that he's hurt. I mean, he hurt himself sliding head first on a field that had a little too much water on it in the first inning, and he stuck basically, and he hurt his left shoulder, non-throwing arm, and didn't really say a whole lot about it. Although we were really worried about it when it happened, because I've seen that a dozen times, and usually something happens, usually a tear, and he pops out, pops in, but when he hit the wall the other day in the first inning against Kentucky in game 3, when the ball went off the top of the wall and bounced out, he fell down. It's bothered him again. So we're not sure if he's going to start tomorrow or not, but the pain's starting to go away, and then he hits the wall again. And, so he's dealing with that. And I just want him to be upfront with me and tell me that he's pain free, or I don't want to play him. That's my thing. I just want him to, not have any mental, I don't know, something lurking in there thinking I can't swing at that pitch. I can't hit that pitch. And, that's why I'm not hitting that pitch. I'd rather play somebody else. So as of yesterday in our workout, he didn't swing. I had him doing some other things, played defense, and he's going to swing today. He said it's feeling a lot better. So, but Coach Thompson's talked with him. Bobby's talked with him. I've talked with him. He had a really good game on Friday at Kentucky, drove in 4 runs, double, single. Not so good after that. So, Saturday probably felt the same way as he did Friday, and not much happened. And then Sunday, he kind of hurts himself after I don't even think he'd hit yet. So we'll see how it goes today.
And I know you guys will be back after the SEC tournament back at Baum-Walker Stadium, but to talk about these guys who are going to be celebrated for senior day and kind of be rewarded, that this class and what this has meant for the team and the upperclassmen that you have here.
Yeah. We have more than normal, because this isn't normal days. You got kids transferring in and out. As a matter of fact, we had a meeting the other day talking about maybe we ought to talk about really what you need to do to be able to be in senior day. Are you a true senior? Are you a 4th-year player that's going to sign? Are you a transfer that comes in here for 1 year? Are you going to go through senior day? And yeah, it's kind of interesting, but we've had some of these kids in our program for a while, and some are new. It's the key to recruiting is getting the young kids, and the key to winning these days with the portal, we still believe, is bringing in the high school kids and recruiting around them because they know what your program's all about, and they can pass it along as they get a little older instead of just, getting a bunch of 1-year guys, which they've done well here and we've enjoyed them. And they've been a big part of our team. And, to us, they're Razorbacks forever. And most of those guys come back and work out now if they're in professional baseball. But really, it's the young guys that you can get in here for 3 years, usually at a minimum, unless they're draft eligible and they're that good. Like Benintendi, he was 2-year draft eligible, and Wallace, and they both did great here for 2 years. So, that means a lot. I mean, I'm proud of those guys. When the guys are graduating, some already graduated, some are working on masters. So, that's what it's all about. Come in here, and if you don't get a degree, get really close so you can see the light at the end of the tunnel and finish it up after pro ball.
Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Steve, you got there?
Well, I guess you are referring to me, but Coach, we've seen a rash here the last few years where Mississippi State wins the national championship, falls off, Ole Miss does it, and LSU to a certain extent. But the Razorbacks, I guess really since 2016, have been a very consistent contender. What do you kind of attribute that to? What's the secret to sustained success at the University of Arkansas?
Well, I really don't want to tell anybody. Really, honestly, it's about the players, getting the right kids in here, and then also keeping my coaching staff together. There's a lot of camaraderie. The players know that the coaching staffs, all of us, we all get along. We like each other. We hang out away from the field. Our families hang out. I think it gives them a little better feeling. We're not talking about, we don't have to talk about winning a national championship or getting to Omaha. It's kind of expected. And that's what we're trying to do. We just want guys to work hard and have some goals. Hopefully that's to play in the big leagues one day, or at least professional baseball. So, they realize that we work extremely hard, and, they have that goal. So that's what they want to do. I think to be good every year, you have to make sure that your roster can handle your schedule. So you've got to have enough pitching. Last year we were very fortunate to get through and have the year that we had with all the injuries. I've never seen anything like it. And we just kept having another guy step up, and kind of was mind-blowing, honestly. Same as position players. We had a couple guys that weren't even playing. Next thing you know, they're playing. They're leading us in hitting after 3 weeks. And I think one of them went to, just started playing when we played Mississippi State last year. Holt, he got 6 or 7, 8 hits down there. And we're like, wow, man, am I stupid? I should have been playing this guy all year. And, so we've had some guys like that have really are program guys that it means a lot to them. I'm sure Mississippi State's the same way, and Ole Miss, and they just ran into some rough times there. But to be good every year, it's really a mindset, a lot of expectation, and a lot of policing each other. And that's what we have our players do. It's all about the players taking care of the program and making sure guys are doing the right thing. And, they're not perfect. We get it. Kids are going to be kids, but there's just a lot of expectation around here. And I don't feel like the kids feel pressure from it. It's just, that's what they want. And, last year we felt like as a team and a staff that we won the SEC West, tied for the SEC championship, and nobody around here knew it. I mean, it was kind of like we didn't get to Omaha, and they didn't think we had a very good year, which was, a little frustrating for us as a staff. But I do appreciate where we're at in our program. There's a lot of expectations, and that's the way we want it. And the players know that, but it's player driven. It's about their mentality and attitude, and they want to be good every year, and they don't just talk about it. They work and get there.
Hudge?
Dave, on Monday, you said Fisher was going in for surgery. You didn't know quite what it was going to be. Do you have an update on how that went?
It's on the good side. He should be ready for next season. Yeah, just didn't have to do full Tommy John. Just a little bit of action in there, and they fixed it. And he should be able to go next January. He'll rehab, and he should be good to go, like full bore when the season starts, if everything, stays the way it is.
Was it that internal brace thing that you mentioned?
Yes.
Gotcha. And with Hagen, I remember a couple of years ago when you had Kevin Kopps, I remember you mentioned like y'all thought he was going to be pretty good before the season. You just didn't quite maybe know how you were going to use him. With Hagen, did you know that maybe he was in store for a season like this, like even before the season started?
Oh, yeah. Yep. 100%. I mean, we saw him work out all summer here. We saw him get bigger and stronger. He was still 19 all last summer. He turned 20 in August. He'd already had 2 full years of being in the middle of a couple of pretty good teams, a SEC championship team and a team that went to Omaha when he was a freshman, and he was the reason we got to go. And then he turns 20. You can just see him physically starting to look older. We're watching his bullpens going, wow, this is incredible. And then we didn't let him pitch much. His first outing, he throws 1 inning, and at the end of September, we let him throw 1 inning, and he struck out the side on like 12 pitches. And it wasn't even competitive. And we're going, holy cow. And he was supposed to pitch the next Friday, and all the scouts were going to come in, and there was a few there. And I told him after he threw, I went in and saw Coach Hobbs, and I said, I don't want him to pitch anymore this spring or this fall. And then we went and told him, and he wasn't real happy. We're like, what are you pitching for? You don't need to pitch. You need to get ready for the spring. And, the scouts will figure it out in the spring. So we knew he was going to have a big year. Do we know that he was going to do what he's doing? We thought it was in there because I've been doing it a long time, and I've had some really good pitchers, and I've never had a better one.
Jackson?
Hey, Dave. Sorry, I missed the first couple of minutes. So I apologize if this was already asked, but you gave the guys a couple of days off. You've talked a little bit about maybe being tired. I mean, could you sense any, a little bit of added juice, some added energy in the practices that you've had since Kentucky?
Yeah, well, we've only had one, and it was voluntary because they're in finals. They all showed up. Shorts and T-shirts on the field. Beautiful day. It was great. They had a great attitude. We'll have our second one today, and then we'll play tomorrow. So weekend's going to be amazing weather here, which is so good to see after the 4 or 5 storms that have rolled through here in the last few weeks. It's the end of the season. School's just about out. Most of them are finishing their finals today. It should be the time of their their life. I mean, this is what they want to do: play baseball, not go to school.
And Hudson White's good weekend. It felt like he's been kind of building to that breakout. What's kind of changed for him? If there's anything you can point to, is it a mentality thing? Anything physically at the plate?
Probably all of above. I mean, mentality, feeling good. He's a good hitter. I just feel like that. There's been some adjustments made. There's been a lot of things suggested and worked on, but a lot of times older hitters, they just revert back in the game. It's what they're used to doing. It's used to, whether it's the way they have their feet placed or their hands up, down, or whatever. And I just think he's slowly made some adjustments that are starting to feel more comfortable to him. And he's been hitting the ball hard. I mean, he had a good weekend at Kentucky. He was one of the few guys. So, we need his bat. You think about him at the beginning of the year. I didn't have Stovall. I was hitting him leadoff. I had a catcher leading off, and I hit him in the 2-hole. And now he was all the way down to the 8-hole. So he could hit higher than that, and he may this weekend. But he's trying to stretch that lineup a little bit. But he's definitely made some adjustments, and I think he's physically feeling really good, and mentally he's probably more confident than he's been all year.
Tom.
Hey, Dave, the flip side of Steve's question is, so Mississippi State won it in 21, and then they had a couple of 9 and 21s in conference, and now bounced back. What do you see from them this year? Maybe a little different than the last couple.
Well, I don't know, their program inside and out as far as age over the last couple of years. Sometimes the national championship hangover, you can't get over it, and it's just something that it's just the way it is. But, I think it starts on the mound. They have at least two starters that give them a chance to win every weekend, win a series, get ahead in the series, find a way to win one of the next two. I mean, if Friday that doesn't go good, Saturday they got another dude out there that can get you out. And, with both of them have plus stuff and, high draft choice stuff. So that's probably the start. I mean, they really field, they're kind of like us. If you look at their numbers as far as defensively, our numbers are about the same. They don't give you a whole lot. And that would probably, with me not looking at statistics, I don't know what they fielded in 23 or 2, but that's, you're talking about pitching and defense. That means you're probably going to be in the game, and they know how to win. I mean, that's a great program. And, the fan base is amazing. There's a lot of expectation there. And I just think that, if I look at all the teams in the SEC right now, I think all the coaches would say the two teams you don't want to play are Mississippi State and Texas A&M. Those would be in the top 3 or 4, and we play both of them. And that's just the way it is. So, a few weeks ago, they probably said you didn't want to play Arkansas. Now they're probably saying, yeah, Arkansas, they're just kind of getting by. They got their wins, and, they don't score enough runs. And once you get past Hagen, you're in good shape. I mean, hey, it is what it is. Don't hide it. That's what I talk to our guys about. So, but yeah, Mississippi State's going to be a major challenge for us. And I don't know why that happens. I mean, Ole Miss the same way, and Mike and I are pretty good friends, and he shakes his head about it. And really comes down, the players, they're the ones when it's all said and done, they're the ones that either do it or they don't. And they should get the credit when they do it. And that's the way we feel.
I get your analysis. Hey, I vaguely remember Kendall's slide several weeks back. Where was that?
It was against McNeese State. I think it was in game 3, like the last game before we getting ready to play conference the next weekend. And I think it was early in the game, and probably gave him the steal sign because the guy was slow to the plate or something, and he slid head first and kind of didn't slide real good because in the first inning it was just a little wet there. And we've had that injury a lot. Goodhart had it. It's not to that. I mean, his was really bad, but it was. And I mean, I go back as far as my second year with Danny Hamlin, his shoulder, then it just started popping out all the time. And so, Kendall's not quite as bad, but it's still annoying. And yeah, that's when it happened.
All right, Bob, you're the closer.
Hey, Dave, you haven't talked a lot about Mississippi State's offense. I know Dakota Jordan, he's got monster numbers. I think as a team they're batting about 286 or something. What do you think about him specifically? He's got really good power numbers and just their offense overall.
Yeah, he's got like 55, 60 RBIs, 16 home runs. He'll strike out a little bit, but he'll also hit a lot of balls hard. When he hits it, watch out. I mean, he's a big guy, takes up the whole batter's box, and I mean, he's still hitting almost 370, and he's a tough one. I mean, you got Hunter Hines that can hit him as far as anybody in the league from the other side of the plate, and you got some run scorers mixed in there. They got a few guys that can run. They've stole like 55, 60 bases, only been thrown out like 10 times or something. So I'm sure they just kind of take what you give them. And if you don't hold them, they're going to go. If you make a mistake, they can hit it over your head. That's what I'm saying. They're a dangerous team. They're very talented, and it seems like they're playing their best baseball the last month.
Yeah, and just kind of to play off that, I mean, I've never been very good at math, but they're 14-10, you're 17-7. So I would guess they're probably thinking, man, we go in there and sweep, we're tied with Arkansas. Everybody's talking about Arkansas and A&M, but Mississippi State's kind of sneaking. They're kind of lurking there in the background, kind of, and they're hot, like you said, just kind of. I mean, it's a pretty big series. I don't know if people realize, it could be for first place.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, believe me, we know where they're at. We don't feel like they're hiding in the corner. We know right where they are, and they're right on our tail. And A&M probably feels the same way. It's the end of the year. It's pretty exciting. I think if you're a fan, you should love this stuff. And hopefully our fans will come out to the ballpark and watch two good teams going at it that have a lot to play for.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Thanks.
All right, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Okay, guys. See you.